Now this is a cool portable speaker. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. This is the Eupho DB1 double bass speaker by UB+, and it's a really different sort of design. As you can see, it's kind of sort of like a bowling ball with a handle on it. But what it really is a lot of audio engineering jammed into a small package. So, 40 to 20,000 hertz frequency response with a sound pressure level of 93 decibels. They're using what they call Helmholtz radiator or resonator, and that's giving you these, which are passive radiators, which give you a lot of bass. They call this a double bass speaker because it has a lot of bass. It has two of these 5.2-inch passive radiators, you can see, but they're designed very specifically on each side to actually give you a lot of the bass that would otherwise typically be lost inside the speaker. It's also a 28mm voice coil, a 4.5-inch woofer, and a 90mm magnet. So it is a heavy speaker, but there's a lot going on. There's not only that huge magnet, but there's also a 10,000 milliamp hour battery in here too, because it draws a lot of power to give you a lot of sound. So it needs a lot of battery so you can get some nice playback. In fact, they say up to 20 hours of playback on a charge. That's pretty sweet. It works in true wireless stereo. If you get two, boom, they'll actually know each other and it'll be easy to work with. But you can use something they call Matrix Connect and connect up to 8 speakers. So you can really just spread this all over your warehouse or your studio or your back patio or your, I don't know, your riding arena, whatever you want. You can do a lot with this. And all of that's going to be controlled by the DB app, which isn't quite released yet, so I can't show you that. But by the time these are released, and this is actually a Kickstarter campaign, by the time this is out and shipping, then that app will be done too. Now, like I said, it has a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. It also is running Bluetooth 5.3. This is the first device I've had a chance to get my hands on that's running 5.3. It's the very latest generation of Bluetooth. You're going to get a lot of range, and you're going to get really zero latency and zero connectivity issues. Super easy to work with. Don't like Bluetooth? Well, on the back there's a little secret port, and under there you can see that it has USB-C and a 3.5mm jack. 3.5mm is audio in, the USB-C is audio in or power. So that's how you charge this thing. Plug it into a USB charger and then just let it sit overnight. It's a slow charge. There's a lot of battery going on here. This is like 4 or 5 times the battery of your smartphone. But enough talk, let's give it some music. So, already paired it with my phone, super easy to work with. And let's turn it up. Now, I can adjust the volume. The top control gives you everything. Pause, play, pair, unpair, power on, power off. And then there's a dial. And I can use that to adjust the volume. Or I can dial it back down. Let me turn it towards me so you can hear a little more of what's going on. There's that very distinctive sort of graphic element in the front, but that's also where the tweeter is. That's what I'm talking about right here. So super easy to work with. We'll do that. And we'll pause it. And all their little sounds and stuff are very delightful. And so you can tell, hopefully, that it's a really nice sound. There's a lot of bass. It's really a room-filling sound for something that's like the size of a, I don't know, a kid's bowling ball, a really big softball. Not exactly sure what the dimensions are, but it's pretty small. Actually, I do know the exact dimensions. In fact, it's 7.2 by 7.2 by 7.0 inches. It's not quite as tall as it is in all the other dimensions because the bottom is cut flat. And it also has the ability for you to put it on a stand, which will give you a different, probably a slightly cleaner sound than having it on a surface. And that's because surfaces tend to pick up and resonate with the bass. So if you put this on a stand, as they show in their photographs, then you're going to get just a slightly cleaner image. But having said that, I really like these. I think they have really nice sound. I think that this is definitely an audiophile speaker in a really small form factor. So there's lots to like. It's a big sound stage. It's a rich, clean signal, and it just sounds really terrific. And I think we're about to get my cat. We'll see if that happens during this. Oh, maybe not. In any case, so much to like with this, and they did pretty darn well on their Kickstarter campaign. They wanted to raise $7,000 and they raised $17,000, and there's my cat. So hang on just a second while we get the cat to take a walk. How about that? The sound is so good, even my cat likes it. It's a good endorsement, right? But seriously, they're on Kickstarter. They've already raised their goal and then a lot, but they're going to be getting more and more pre-sales because there's just a lot to like about this speaker. Now, I should say, I gave you the dimensions. I didn't tell you the weight. It is 6.2 pounds per speaker. So it's pretty heavy. And that's something you might want to consider. If you're used to these little tiny portable soda can size portable speakers, then you're not getting a lot of sound out of them, but they're also not very heavy. This is a different sort of speaker, and it's a different sort of experience. It's a whole lot better sound, for sure. It's a room-filling sound, rather than just, oh, that's a nice sound you have out of that little speaker. Totally different experience, but it's heavier. So, really the only thing left to talk about is the price. But before we get to the price, two things. Number one, let me just show you a couple of close-ups. So here's the top of the unit. As you can see, it's this control button and dial, but there's not a lot of information shown here. So, we'll see if that's in the final or whether they'll have some instructions, but it is entirely functional. And then on the back, you can see, again, that little input port that gives you the access to 3.5 millimeter and USB-C. I should say that this is an IPX5 water resistant speaker, so if you have it outside and it starts raining, you don't have to just throw up your hands and say, well, that ruined it, because it can handle that. You don't want to drop this in the pool. It would sink spectacularly quickly, but you don't want to do that. It's really not designed for water immersion, but it is water resistant, and that's really important to know. So really, that's everything. And in terms of otherwise, like I said, on the bottom, there is a thread that you'll be able to use on a mount or to put it on a platform. You can get really good sound that way. And then what's left is the price. But again, before we get there, I'm going to ask if you could click or tap on that subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. Then turn on notifications and you'll be able to see all my reviews. I have an insane backlog of really cool consumer electronics products that I'll be reviewing on my channel, and you don't want to miss any of them. There's a lot of cool stuff. So, great. This is the Eupho DB1 double bass speaker by UB+, and it is $249 for manufacturer's suggested retail price, but Kickstarter you can get it at down to $149. I think that might be their early bird pricing, but you definitely want to check it out on Kickstarter. If you want to get one of these, you will save significant money, and it's worth checking out. You can go to Kickstarter.com and just search for DB1, or you can just use the link in the description of my video. Either way, I'm going to go back to my music, so I'll get that all set up, and I'll have to catch you in my next video.